The Hyperloop will change the economic landscape of the United States of America. The Hyperloop will change the economic landscape of the world. But first, let me get into my concerns and reservations about the Hyperloop, just in general from a public transportation standpoint. Number one, what about security, police? Because as you know, on a normal subway, police, transit police, security can walk through the cars to make sure everything is good from time to time, to be that presence. Also, you tend to have emergency call buttons to get in contact with a conductor if there's an emergency or if there's a medical emergency. Now, what we've seen from the prototypes and the testing is just one little pod that transports people up and down. And also, given the way the Hyperloop is in a vacuum, how does someone walk between the cars if it is a multi-car arrangement? Is it just going to be one long type of train? We have a conductor and security that can walk back and forth to make sure everything is good. Because as we know, things can get out of hand on public transportation ever so often. Plus, there's always a terrorist threat. If you see someone leaving a bag around somewhere, who do you report that to on the train? And how long do you wait to get to the next stop? Because unlike a traditional subway system where occasionally you can get out the car, try to go along a little walkway and get to a safety valve, or an opening where workers do maintenance or do construction. But how do you do that in the Hyperloop? You have to take into account safety, be it medical or be it a disturbance. Also, as we know, subways are not reliable. Do you have the ability to single track? Meaning, can a pod wait at a station, and can you switch the vacuum to where a train can come down from the opposite side? Can you move multiple directions on the track? That's what I want to know, because they're only showing one direction in the prototype. Like, yeah, it can fly down, and then on the other side you have one flying the other way. Where there's a track issue, especially as it relates to weather or any type of maintenance, can you single track it between certain stations and switch the vacuum to go in a different way? Also, while you have another train have a train coming from one direction and have a train coming from the other direction, can that be? And then can they wait at a station? But with that being said, I do feel that the personal car transport, where Elon Musk and his boring company able to lower an individual car down and travel through tunnels at 100 some odd miles per hour, seems to be the safest measures right now, safest way in terms, at least from a security standpoint, in terms of your own personal security. We're not concerned about lots of other people. That being said, Hyperloop does need to look in terms of security, in terms of dealing with medical emergencies, and in terms of just general public transportation issues and infrastructure. Something as simple as single tracking through a loop. Can trains, these pods, come in to that loop from either direction at the same time and wait at a station? We don't know. But I do trust that Elon Musk, Hyperloop, and anyone else involved from research institutions, colleges, will be able to figure something out, and also be able to figure out the reliability if that would be a major issue where you need to single track. But the thing is, let me get to my main point. that the Hyperloop will change the economic landscape of the USA, that it will change the economic landscape of the world. Off the bat, it creates a job in terms of constructing the Hyperloop. Because obviously, you're still going to need people doing grunt work, putting together the Hyperloop. So everyone doesn't have to be a genius engineer to work on the project. But also in terms of connecting places, it will be good for the economy because it increases the job area that you can work and get to and from reliably and quickly. Jobs for different skill sets can be spread out because if the Hyperloop, beyond the initial corridors that they want to build it, can extend to areas where there's coal mines, where there's factories, and get people from the inner city on a $30 fee, $25, $30 fee each way in the coal mining country and the factory country? Can it move people from the middle of nowhere that want to get to these major cities for these jobs? Can it get people, whatever city, that want to upgrade their job but don't want to have to deal with moving themselves, moving their families, or need to be in a particular city for a certain reason? They can transport between DC, Baltimore, Philly, and New York easily. You can be in Baltimore and go have a job on Wall Street during the day and come back home at night. You can be in Philadelphia wanting a job at a factory, a coal mine, and get out there to maybe somewhere out there in West Virginia once that time comes when they extend it into those type of corridors. Also, it could be good for education. Maybe someone wants to go, even at the high school level, private school, private institution. Maybe they travel a little further distance. They live in Maryland, they want to get to Pennsylvania. They live in Pennsylvania, they want to get to New York to go to whatever type of private school they want to go to, be it for education, be it for a sports opportunity, maybe be for a music program, etc. And I'm sure, schools like that, those private schools, if you're on a scholarship, or even if you're not made, it could be able to subsidize your transportation back and forth. So you're in high school, you can get to school that has the program that you want for your future. Also, from a travel tourism standpoint, you have more day trips back and forth, and that could be really good for helping local businesses that, people just want to check it out one time, really don't want to spend time in whatever particular area, city, or place. They just go there real quick during the day, go to this small business to buy these clothes or to eat this food or just to see something during an event, and just connect you maybe with relatives and friends that are a further distance away, where it compresses that time frame and makes you feel like you're right there, and you're right there next to the person, you're really close. And actually at that point, it may take you longer just driving around your small, driving around, your local area or your town, your city, than it would to get between cities. That's the funny thing about it. It would probably take you longer driving around, any beltways, the DC Capital Beltway, the Baltimore Beltway. It'd probably take you longer to drive all the way around those beltways during rush hour than it would to be on the Hyperloop to get from DC all the way to New York. And also, it can be good for shipping goods, maybe even shipping services, for actual people that want to ship their services. I mean, nowadays when you have these delivery services, hey, if I pay, who knows, maybe $50, I can get somebody or one of these delivery websites to deliver something, some food to me from like 200 miles away. if I really want that and I got that type of money. So it definitely can have an economic impact, a positive economic impact on the USA when the Hyperloop was built. Obviously, I have my reservations and my concerns because safety is a concern, be it medical, be it general danger from another person, or terrorists, what have you. But I also like that they have an option, by the way, a Boring Company, where a personal car can also travel along the Hyperloop. So you can get there, have your car with you, and get around to wherever that might be. And I think it really come in handy once the Hyperloop extended across the United States to get people from cities out there to places where they have factories, coal mines, and other things of that nature. And people even from those areas that have certain education that want to go over here to more of these major cities and have, maybe a student ties to the desk type of job. I definitely believe the Hyperloop will happen. It will be a good thing in terms of economic standpoint, and I can't wait till it gets going. It's really going to be a changer in terms of public transportation, and it'll grow as a closeness between cities and expand areas, so you can just get back and forth. You can get back and forth. Maybe if your favorite sports team isn't nearby, and get there quickly and get back quickly. Or even see your team on the road. So it's a lot of good things that will come from the Hyperloop once it gets squared away, put in place, and all the necessary precautions are taken. Some people don't trust Elon Musk. They say, hey, he's having issues with his rocket to Mars or what have you, but he's still working at it. And I believe Elon Musk will continue to work the Hyperloop. If not him, other people, especially at Hyperloop 1 and other places overseas, will continuously work on it. We don't have high-speed trains over here in the United States. They have them overseas, Japan, I believe, or China, one of the two. But this could be a step in that direction, since we have a lot of older railroad tracks in the United States that were even built during the Civil War time, so you can't hit these full speeds. We are laying new tracks down with this Hyperloop, and therefore be able to accommodate these higher speeds. They project higher speeds of up to 750 miles per hour. I don't know if we need to really go that fast, but speed increase where they have the Hyperloop currently hitting about was, I think, maybe 192 miles per hour. And if you can get from DC to New York doing that, where they're going to build this corridor where Elon Musk has his verbal approval at about 300 miles per hour, even at essentially half the speed, that's still a normal work commute. You know what I'm saying? So anywhere in between those places, being at a further extent, New York, DC, you can get back and forth either between those cities. It was a good price. You can work big time jobs and maybe even get a subsidy between those places. But that's just my take on the Hyperloop. And I feel the Hyperloop will change the economic landscape of the United States. That's my take on it. Iceberg Jim out. Deuces.